So I got up this morning, had breakfast, and then started reading articles on Yahoo News. And it didn't take me very long to come across something that made me go, wait a minute, what the fuck? And it's the story about, I think it's 3 or 4 high school students in Texas who were sent home for wearing clothing that had American flags and American logos and whatnot, I guess you could say, on Cinco de Mayo. I know, it seems a little messed up, but first I actually kind of want to start by giving you a brief history, and I mean extremely brief, so don't freak out, of what Cinco de Mayo actually is, because just for fun, I go around asking Americans, you know what Cinco de Mayo? Oh, it's Mexican Independence Day. No, actually, it's not. It's kind of celebrated as that in America, but the actual is on May 5th, 1862, 4,000 Mexican soldiers held off a combined French and Mexican force of 8,000 soldiers. So what, you say? Well, consider this. After subduing Mexico, the French-Mexican force would likely have moved to aid and reinforce the southern armies of the American Civil War, which was going on at the same time. Your American history is probably pretty horrible if you were educated in American public schools, but if you recall, during 1862, the American Civil War was going on, and France was allied with the southern colonies. So, if you can imagine what might have happened if this French-Mexican army marches through Mexico and then goes and helps the southern rebels. So, if you're a fan of United America, then you might actually want to acknowledge the significance or the potential significance of Cinco de Mayo, because, I mean, it's not to say that if the 4,000 Mexican soldiers would have lost that battle that we would all be living in 2 separate Americas now, but it is a distinct possibility if you consider the world situation at the time. So yes, Cinco de Mayo could be seen as a significant date on the American calendar as well, if you like the idea of a united America. But most Americans aren't aware of this little bit of history, and so they don't see it as such. But that's kind of actually a little bit removed from the point, because in the video that I linked you to at the bottom there, the news article mentions that 40% of the school at which this happened is Mexican or of Southern American descent, and so let me think. It's still pretty much a minority. But apparently these kids who were, one of which apparently is like half Mexican, I think the news report said, who were wearing the shirts and the shorts and whatnot with American flags all over them, were sent home because the faculty and the principal and all that shit was afraid that it might start a fight. So now, on a holiday, it's not even really fully recognized, I don't believe, as an American national holiday. It's just generally celebrated because we Americans will use any excuse we can to get shit-faced drunk. So even though it's not actually an American holiday, a lot of Americans use it to get drunk. But so seeing that it's not even a holiday on the American calendar, I don't understand why these students would be sent home for wearing Go America gear in Texas. I mean, that's the funniest thing about this whole thing, is that it's happening in Texas, that the most Go America state in the whole fucking nation. Don't mess with Texas, America, blah, blah, and all this shit. I don't understand that they would do this. Are they that afraid of the reaction, I guess? I don't know. It just seems really silly, because on any other day, I could see in a Texas classroom these kids being asked to stand up and the teacher applauding them for wearing a t-shirt with a big American flag over the chest, going, "Look at that patriot right there. That's how you all need to be. Look at him. He's all for America." But because it happens to be the 5th of May, they get sent home because the Mexican students don't like the fact that American students are showing pride in their country, because, and like this is the Mexican students are showing pride in their country of origin. And so what's wrong with, on that particular day, the two, you know, I mean, I don't understand why this is such a horrible deal, especially in Texas, that, you know, pride is generally their biggest thing, and so these students show a little bit of American pride in, I guess, in direct contrast to, well, they're showing, the Mexican students are showing their Mexican pride. I mean, they're Mexican born, I don't know if they're naturalized, whatever, it doesn't matter. This is all off the information the article gave me, so it's not like I'm making assumptions, I'm just going off the limited information. But it just really actually pissed me off that, I mean, because you know me, I'm not the most Go America guy in the world. I will be the first person to recognize and point out and laugh at America's shortcomings. But in this instance, I'm kind of on the side of the kids that got sent home. Now, granted, they probably didn't give a flying shit because they got to spend the rest of the day throwing a football around in the backyard. Big fucking deal, you know. I mean, I'd rather have been doing that if I was a student anyway. So it seems like a win-win for the students, but it's just the general principle of the matter that kind of makes me go, what the hell? Because, I mean, they're going to say, oh, so if there's a Canadian Independence Day, I really don't know if there is, because I am an ignorant American who's ignorant of other cultures until I read about them on the internet. And if there's a Canadian Independence Day, are we going to start sending students home from North Dakota who happen to wear American flags on their shirts on Canadian Independence Day? I mean, what? It's come on. It's just fucking retarded, people. I can't see it as being anything else. It just seems like the most unlikely place in the world for that to happen, too. Texas, of all fucking places, is going to show remarkable racial sensitivity towards Mexicans, which I have no problem with, but it seems absurd. The fight they chose, that, oh, nope, can't wear an American flag on Cinco de Mayo. Nope, can't do that. That just ain't right.